Hello and welcome to this totally normal stream that just started. Totally normal. Let's see if it is actually split it. Let's see. Let me check the video producer. Yeah, we're good. We're set. We're so good. Thank you, Twitch, for doing the intuitive thing. Let me go ahead and export that while I'm thinking of it. Okay. We're doing it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We're doing it. We're back with more Citizen Sleeper. It is the first save file. If you weren't here last time, let me load into the game to determine and recall exactly where we were. Oh, we're in space. That's right. That's where we left off. We have a lot of active plot threads going on. Generally speaking, big picture, we are the imprinted consciousness of someone who was forced into a bad situation and sold themselves to a megacorp and imprinted our consciousness onto an android body, which is falling apart because this megacorp put in some, there's a specific term, planned obsolescence, so that if we aren't, sticking with them, then the technology that makes our bodies work deteriorates. But we've managed to find a connection to provide us with a stabilizer that will keep us from having our bodies break down. That's good. It does cost money because they need to smuggle it in and they're putting their necks on the line. But we have that available to us. We've got this job with our buddy Dragos, who was the one who found us and is working this scrapyard, breaking down a ship that came in. We're trying to figure out some mysteries about it. Our current home is an empty container. Delightful and fun. Our buddy Fang here is looking for some data on Solheim, which I believe is the company that built this ring we're on. The administrative parts for the station. I don't want to hand over a ship mind fragment. I need a ship mind. We'll get to that. This is a huge ship called the Sidereal, or the Sidereal, that is going to launch into deep space as a colonist ship. And this is a stream. This is a live stream. I'm just going over some details that we missed. Go to the assembly team working on the hull itself. Our buddies Lem? I think it's Lem. And definitely Mina. Mina is definitely a buddy. We'll meet them again. This is a bounty hunter ship that came in, and we're helping to fix it, but we got some drones to do the work for us, so we're just letting that happen. Let's see. This is what happened at the very end last time. Bounty hunter came to collect on behalf of the megacorp and decided, instead of taking you in, I'm going to drink a lot of the alcohol and you're going to have to pay for it for me, or else I will just take you in instead. And we've got a cycle clock which is going to tick each day, each cycle. At the end of it, we're going to have to go and pay that. What fun. Amphis is our food buddy. Makes a spiced fungus that's, ooh, can't be believed. So good. This is the apartment building of the doctor that gave us the stabilizer and is apparently in some amount of trouble. I'm going to go ahead and put that in while I'm thinking of it. They need some dirt on their employer to help them break away from that. We can work in some noodle delivery service. Here's Lem and Mina. Lem is working on the ship in the hopes of getting a ticket for him and Mina, who is an adorable little gremlin of a child, on as workers on the colonist ship. Thank you for the hydrate. Oh, gotta hydrate. And at the moment, my prompt here is I can watch Mina so that Lem has a chance to go work. We haven't explored this part too much yet. This is Founder's Gap. We need to pay 150 cryo to get up there. And we could scale the spoke, but I'm going to leave that alone for the moment because I have, if not bigger, then different fish to fry. I'm going to go to Dragos' yard. I'm going to use one of my dice. The higher the number on the dice, the better. I got a very good roll here. And we're going to look into the winter light. And we got a neutral outcome, so we succeeded. Squeezed into the office. At the entrance to the yard, you lay out everything you have on the winter light across the metal desk. Your makeshift forensic notes glow on Dragos' old writing slate, overlapping lines and scrawled annotations. A set of drone scans fill the small terminal with a spectrum of colors, a heat map of damage and decay. A crumpled printout from the office's ship registry lies beside them, synthetic paper so thin it is almost transparent. Let's start with the monitor. Reactor failure. That is the verdict that anyone who would have returned after a cursory glance at these stacked heat maps of the remains of the winter light. On the terminal screen, the ship is shown in section, blotches of color marking the approximate damage the ship sustained. Dominating the view is a single blood-red rose, radiating from the ship's fraction drive. A simple story. A catastrophic failure of the drive core, leading to a fatal hull breach. A well-documented failure, likely brought on by wear or misuse. But you aren't looking at the rose of the reactor. You are looking at a smaller, paler mark, one that might be easy to miss at first glance. It is thumbprint-sized and delicately placed over the control servos for the ship's main external airlock. It suggests a controlled, shaped explosion, one designed to punch through the hull and allow access to the airlock from the outside. You are looking at it because it is troubling you. Your attempts at a reconstruction of the winter light before its fatal accident consists of a series of overlapping sketches and diagrams, showing possible layouts and configurations of the gutted cutter. This was no off-the-shelf model. It was heavily modified, parts replaced with inventive configurations, the new retrofitted into the old, handmade joints and reconditioned filters. This was someone's pride and joy, a lifetime project, kept running with care and intuition. It also contained a set of hidden compartments. You missed them at first, where the hull had been thickened, the corners rounded, to disguise the change. But they are there. A plain list shows the registration history of the winter light, the gaps between the entries tantalizingly opaque. Its first registration was a couple of thousand cycles ago on this very station. logged at the central hub. From here, the registry tells the story of a busy ship, one that rarely stayed on station for more than a few cycles, and often took on voyages that kept it away from the eye for up to 100 cycles. The Winter Light got little rest. An old ship, many cycles under its belt, carefully maintained. A reactor failure preceded by a carefully concealed external entry. A suite of hidden compartments, tucked away. This was the Winter Light, and this was its story. But that's not the full story, because there's something else. It is little more than a list, a tiny chunk of data you were able to pull from the ship's systems. The main systems were fried, of course, but the Winter Light had a separate system, one tucked away in one of its hidden compartments. Armored. Air-walled. This list, the only recoverable piece from the whole system, is a partial inventory. It details the contents of the hidden compartments. Some of it you recognize, some of it you don't. Ship mind ROMs, shimmer, cryo chain codes, and then the final entry. Passenger, sleeper. You stare at the list on the terminal and try not to think about what it was like arriving here, in the cold for so long, half frozen in the freight container. Had this sleeper been smarter, luckier? How had they convinced the Winter Light, a smuggler's ship, if you ever saw one, to extract them from Essen Arp? 2 notes. A sleeper is the name for an android, such as our player character. Essentially a human conscious in an android's body. Essen Arp is the Megacorp. They are unquestionably bad in this video game. Cryo is the currency. If y'all have questions, I am more than happy to answer them. Just FYI. Yes, smuggler vessel. That's what we've got. Luckier. You laugh. There had been no remains found in any of the Winter Light's compartments. You had checked. They weren't so lucky, you guess. Not in the end. You hold up a vial of stabilizer to the light. This was all you find in their compartment. A parting gift from Essen Arp. Well, it won't go to waste now. You put it back in your pocket. The thought still bothers you, though. 2 ships carrying sleepers coming into the same yard? 2, one after the other. That feels wrong. You flick back and forth between datasets on the terminal, thinking. And you see that thumbprint again. The mark of someone trying to get in. Someone who entered the Winter Light with precision and speed, and when they were done, left the reactor to clean up the rest. The thought of that person makes you shiver. Suddenly, the office door creaks open. Drago stands in the doorway, staring at the equipment and notes you have assembled. What is all this? He snatches the slate from the desk, faster than you realized he could move. You running an investigation here? What am I paying you for? The drone on his shoulder starts whining shrilly, his anger passing to it through his implants. Are you hiding something? Hiding something? I'm hiding you, goddammit. And what are you doing for me? Digging around in my business. He starts shaking his head. I know you have a lot of questions, but this isn't the way. He turns away, muttering to himself, this is the last thing I need. This ship had a sleeper on it. Dragos freezes, suddenly angry. What did you say? He pushes past you to look at the terminal, at the list. He shakes his head. So what? Aren't all of you trying to escape? You are lucky it was you that made it out alive, not them. He folds his arms indignantly. Dragos seems to steady himself and then turns back to you, the heat map of the reactor failure reflected in his headset's glassy eyes. I've given you a place to stay. I've given you work. He stumbles over the words, unsure what to say. There's plenty others who would have sold you on, turned you in. But not me, no. I know. He softens. Look, you've helped me too. He quiets the drone. I've done well by you, and you've returned the favor. He straightens up and clears his throat. But this obsession you have with this ship isn't going to work for me. I can't have you making my clients nervous. I can't have you digging up whatever it is you are after. He sighs. You can't work here anymore. What about the winter light? He reaches over and switches the monitor off. Forget about the damn ship. You have enough to keep you up. Dragos reaches across you and flicks off the terminal. As the light of the monitor dies, a kind of eerie calm falls on both of you. Whatever this was, it is done. You made it out, Sleeper. That means you have to move on. What if they come for me? Then you run. You don't come here. You don't scream. You don't shout. You run. In the dark, Dragos' headset glints, and you wish for a moment that you could see his eyes and meet them. Maybe then he would understand. You get up from the desk, and Dragos gathers the notes, stuffing them into a pocket of his overalls. He holds the door for you, his headset as expressionless as always. You can stay in the container. I won't take that from you. Don't come back. His tone is final, definite, with an edge of disappointment. You walk out of the office and then out of the yard, not stopping to look back. You leave the yard, thumbing the vial in your pocket, knowing that this, at least, guarantees you a little more time. And as you walk, your mind once again drifts to that person who killed the winter light, and whether or not that person will come for you. Achievement. Found a gift from someone like you, hidden away. Gotta get engage up to 0. Oh, we do gotta hydrate. Water. It's good. Okay. I don't disagree with Dragos' conclusions. He does have to watch out for his own interests, but we were finding stuff there, man. Right. Gotta go babysitting. We gotta eat while we were there, too. Okay, we're not going to keep babysitting for the moment because we would just overstuff ourselves. No need to do that. We are going to go... we'll use this one for sure. Get a little bit more money. Let's see. Let's play Tavla. Got a little bit of money, got some more reputation around here. The Tambor Tea House. The Tavla room and the Tambor houses some of the best players in the low end. This is serious, high stakes only play. Or if I have some Havenage information, I could go there also. Turn that in. Love to eat a food that I get for babysitting Mina. Get some stabilizer. Condition is completely stable now. End that cycle. Slightly above average dice for this one. Where do we want to go? We have many choices. Oh, what do I want to do? I want a shipmind core. That's scrap. I don't need scrap. So many choices. I could go and do this again. I know it's great to watch Mina. Every time. Okay. I actually don't want to rush this one because of things I know that happen as I progress that plot line, so we're going to leave that one alone. I don't have a plus to either of these, so I do want to wait until I have a 6 there. Let's finish up our low-ender cred. Oh, they feed me also. Okay. Let's do that with the 3. Yeah. This half-built unit looks long forgotten. A project that never made it. With enough scrap, you might be able to seal it up. Mamma mia. With enough scrap. Castor. Curious data fence. You cross between 2 walls of units, one of the cavernous streets at the center of the low end. The pressurized bridge is full of the clack of Tavla, the shouts of children, the whir of air filters. Sleeper. You turn around to see a man sitting at a Tavla table alone, somehow untouched by the hustle and bustle of the people around. He gestures to the stool on the opposite side of the table. Sit. Sit. You sit at the metal stool as he starts setting out the board with counters, or at least the filter caps low-enders typically use, in their place. Castor, he says by way of introduction, looking over his glasses. Night or day, he asks, gesturing at the caps, crudely sprayed, white and black. Night. He nods. The black counters are already on your side. Let's begin. You take a plastic die, each pitted and worn, and roll to determine who starts. Castor rolls a 6, you a 4. I lead. He smiles and begins to move his first cap precisely along the board. Play passes back and forth between you, the dice changing hands as the caps spread along the board. As it does, Castor speaks, eyes not leaving the caps. It is unusual to see a sleeper on the eye. That is why I wanted to play you. You take your turn, rolling a 5 and a 6. Let's be aggressive. After all, a sleeper's mind must be somehow different to a human one. Being emulated, I mean. As Castor talks, you target his counters, halting his progress, but exposing your caps as you do. I don't mean to offend you. Castor meets your eye. I merely see that you are, by definition, different. What has been subtracted in the emulation? What has been added? He stacks a wall of counters, a boundary you must break. He hands you the dice. Did you ever think about this, sleeper? About what you were before and what you are now? Sort of a dichotomy here. Let's say always. You roll a double 1 and solidify your wall. Caster whistles. The holding game. Commendable. It can be brave to build from what came before. He rolls the dice and leaps over your wall in a single move. But we cannot idle too long, Sleeper. The slower we move, the sooner we are caught. The past you is not just an idea, a concept for you. It is a living, breathing person. He looks up over his glasses, his eyes bright and wide. You split from them like a shadow splitting from its caster. They may be sleeping now, yes, but one day they will awake and carry on with their lives, unaware of your fate, no matter what it may be. He hands you the dice, smiling. You are a branch, severed from the main trunk, an offshoot who refuses to die, so to speak. You roll again, under pressure now, trying to slip your caps out from under Casters before he solidifies control of the game. So what I am curious about is how you see yourself in all of this, Caster asks. What does this tangle of truths make you? Driven. Caster laughs. This much is obvious, Sleeper. I see it in your eyes. You're eager to make all this count for something. Caster looks away, through the glass to the crowded units on all sides. But driven towards what? He starts removing caps, his home board now full. Is there an end here? Or just endurance? You try a few more rolls, attempting to get back in the game, but Caster clears his home board with a sense of the inevitable. He has known he was winning for a while. I feel I may have pushed too far. He slides another cap from the board. I apologize. My curiosity has a habit of getting the better of me. You roll to return a cap to the board, but all the spaces are blocked. Caster clasp. Take that hydrate now. Caster clasps his hands apologetically. You play well, really. Your weakness is not your game. He smiles warmly. We have much to learn from each other. He slides his glasses back up his nose and sits back. I feel we could share knowledge, ideas, perhaps even data. His eyes glint with that last word. To our mutual benefit. He slides his final cap from the board. It is over. He has won. I'll see. Please, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. He holds up his palms. My intention is only to help you endure here, and, if I am able, feed my curiosities. The game over, you notice the bustle of the walkway once more. The call of the children, the deliveries, the arguments and reconciliations. They wash over you as you stand and leave, Caster nodding goodbye as you do. Crossing the walkway, you replay the moves of the game in your mind, looking for an opening you are sure was there. If I can get 5 Havenage datas, I can get a ship mind, which would be good. So now I'm looking for Havenage data. What does Doc want? Yatagan. At the moment, Caster's a little bit of an enigmatic figure. Friend, perhaps. Useful, certainly. If I can provide the necessary pieces. Let's Build a little bit of the ship. Positive. Yeah, got that money. We got that money. They're all 2s and 3s. That's a 4 and a 2, which doesn't help me. That's a 3 and a 2, which is pretty much a 2 and a 3. I don't want Yataghan right now. Encrypted key. A glimmer in the dark catches your eye as the orb of the hunter's head appears in the distance. It is looking for you. Run. You turn away and glide back into the cloud, threads of data rushing past. Another glimmer catches your eye, closer now, that roving orb wreathed in tentacles. It flickers, jumps once, twice, and then it is here. Hunter is here. Entity, submit to inquiry. Hunter reaches for you in that unpleasantly familiar way, its waving threads creating a cage. You push against the threads as they close in, becoming frenzied as you push them aside. You are caught by whipping tendrils and feel them pulling you away from the anchor of your body. You push through, clearing the threads. Entity, hold for processing, comes the scream from behind, but you are already gliding away, back to your anchor, your body. You awake. Dizzy, disoriented, distorted, but safe. I lost a little condition there. Not the worst case scenario, but a price that was paid, to be sure, to be sure. Oh, that hunter. What a joker. What a joker, that hunter. Those are some good dice. Ankita. Ankita is crouched in the computing core of the ambergris, swearing to herself when you enter. She doesn't look up. These shits completely ruined the core's connectors when they cut it. She holds up a thick fistful of ragged wires. The ship mind they ripped won't even be usable without replacing these. She throws the bundle of wires across the room. Amateurs. Can we repair it? There's nothing to repair. We need an entire ship mind, not exactly the first thing you can expect to dredge up from a scrap freighter. She sighs. Fragments maybe, sections of a mind, but a complete ship mind? No way. Ankita climbs out of the cooling well where the ship mind should be, the space suddenly crowded with her on the same level as you, towering over you as she stoops beneath the low curved ceiling. Come on, nothing to be done here now. She leads you back through the guts of Amber, though you could find the way back yourself. The repair process has left you familiar with the cutter's idiosyncratic layout, all diagonal angles and bundled tubes. What do we do now? Ankita seems lost in thought, and you focus on the corridors, ducking below conduits and passing through bulkheads. Eventually, you arrive in the galley, though it's hard to tell. Most of the benches and prep surfaces are covered in half-stripped components and welded hull patches. Ankita shoves a box of filters to the floor and sits. There's no way around it, she starts out of nowhere. We need a new ship mind. Where from? Scrap freighter, ord exchange. Hell, find one in the overlooked bathroom. Doesn't matter where, just matters that we get one. She rubs her forehead. It seems I'm about to do something very stupid. But hey, I came here, didn't I? Why not make a run of it? She fixes you with a hard stare. Sleeper. You're all I've got. No crew, no friends, you're it. She looks uncomfortable. I appreciate the time you've put in on Amber, and I'm sure she would too if she could. What I'm saying is if you screw me on this, I will kill you. She leans over and hands you a stack of chits. A big stack of chits. You don't dare to count them. Get me that ship mind, Sleeper. Don't make me regret this. You won't. She sighs. Look, just get out of here before I change my mind. You slip out of the galley and head back towards the main lock. As you do, Amber growls and creaks like a caged animal. You reach out a hand to calm her. Time to find Ankita's shipment mind, somehow. That's 100 of them. I got 100 of the currency. Can I go gamble it all away? No, I won't do that. Let's go watch Mina. She's asleep, whispers Lem, creeping back out of the unit's tiny bedroom, sliding the door shut as he does. You are perched at a thin bar in the main room, the slate in front of you still glowing with Mina and your drawings from a cycle spent together. There is a ring, the only world Mina has ever known, with stick figures standing along its edge. The tall one is you. Drink? Asks Lem, producing a worn-looking bottle of Girol from under the bar, its contents glowing amber in the fluorescent light. I'm gonna see what that is. Is it a fungus? I think it's a fungus. Maybe a cheese? Alcohol. Yeah, I think they're just mushrooms. So this is what we call mushroom wine, I guess. Maybe? Sure. Lem nods and glugs a few fingers into a couple of metal tumblers, then sits down with you at the bar. Cheers, he offers, and you clink the metal containers together. You know, we actually have time. We actually have something to celebrate this time around. Lem gives you a sideways look. I made the assembly team on the side reel. He grins broadly. Clearly, he has been desperate to tell you all cycle. Knew it. Lem holds up his drink. You did get there first, Red. I'll give you that. He looks away. Seriously, though, couldn't have done it without you keeping an eye on little Meanie back here. Lem shifts a little on his stool. He looks uncomfortable. How's our girl doing, Sleeper? I haven't seen much of her these past cycles. A little tricky. Lem looks away. Yeah, she can be tricky like that. She can close you out in a second. She's a stubborn one. He raps on the bar. That'll serve her well, I think. His eyes drift over to the bedroom door. Now, it is true that she's great. That is true, but I am also wondering if he's okay. The truth of she's great wins out, though. He nods. I can't take all the credit for Mina. She isn't actually mine. He gazes into the middle distance. I pulled her off of a refuge shuttle out by one of Ember's moons. The colony was falling apart for decades after Solheim collapsed, surviving on next to nothing. Eventually, some of the residents tried to make for the eye on these decrepit old shuttles. He sloshes the drink around in his tumbler. They had no idea what they were doing. The one Mina was on decompressed halfway here. Everyone spaced. The only reason she made it was someone sealed her in a weapon locker. She was ice cold when I reached her. Purple lips. He shivers. Once I picked her up, I wouldn't let go. The medics treated her with me still clinging to her. He takes a drink. Still not sure why. He reaches over and refills his cup. We weren't exactly anybody's heroes, you understand? We were private military, hired in by Conway to protect their claims in the collapse. But once I got Mina, that was it. I quit. Got us dumped here. Her family? The ones on the shuttle were dead when we arrived. Wasn't many cycles later when the colony fell too. I didn't dare take her to another grave. He looks around the decaying unit, its stained plastic plating and flickering lights. At least that's how I justify it. He sniffs. She was tiny, too small to know what she lost. But I can't stop thinking about it. He rubs his eyes, dark with tiredness. What if our number doesn't come up in the draw, Sleeper? What then? The sidereal will sail off without a thought, leaving us here. What kind of life is that for her? Do I give you hope I cannot be sure about and say that you'll make it in the draw? Do I say, hey, no matter what, Mina's gonna be fine? Or do I just let the moment sit? These dialogue prompts are rough. My goodness gracious. I do need to hydrate to think about them. I'm just gonna let it sit. I'm gonna stay silent. Sorry. I know you don't have it any better. He looks at his cup and pushes it away down the bar. This is a celebration, right? Both of us on the team now. Both of us in with a chance. Together. That's right. We hold on together. Imagine, all three of us riding the sidereal horizon out of here. To a new world. He looks into his glass for a moment. I think I drank this too fast, he laughs. Lem stands and starts to clear the glasses into the auto wash. I need some sleep, friend. See you around. All right, then. He catches your shoulder as you turn to leave. Thank you, Sleeper. I mean it. From both of us. He pats your shoulder and you slip out into the dark of the walkway, with thoughts of little Mina in your mind. Upgrade. I'm going to hold an upgrade and save it for Icebreaker, because that's going to be useful. And none of these are jumping out at me. The heart of what I enjoy about this game and the story it's telling is it has some very difficult, very emotionally grounded, hard choices to make, but it's never just like, oh, you need to make this bad choice because it'll make you feel bad. It's, what do you do when your back is pressed up against the wall and you have to make difficult choices about what to do? And I just think that's neat. Okay. So you want Havenage data for a ship bind. So I want to find some Havenage agents. Pay a 3 for that. Oh, I do want to maybe hold off on that, though, because once I get another upgrade point, I know what I want to do. I want to go to Greenway. Whoop. As you step out into the passageway, someone barrels into you from behind, sending you stumbling down the corridor. You turn to see an unfamiliar spacer, laden with heavy gear. She steadies herself, staring you down as if daring to respond. I won't take that dare. She adjusts the strap on her shoulder, barely giving you a second look before setting off down the corridor. I'm sorry for her. A second spacer smiles at you apologetically. She's on a mission, and when she's on a mission, they shrug. Not a problem. They smile. You're sweet. Peek. Esh stands further down the corridor, glowering at her friend. She chops at the air, pointing down the corridor to whatever end she is rushing to. Peek raises their eyebrows at you. Esh, please, do you want everyone on this station to hate us? Esh hardens. They already hate us. They can hate us. Oh, they want to hate us. They can hate us. Excuse me. She drops her hip. I'm not exactly seeing much love as it is. We're lucky we got through before they set up that damn cordon. I've seen that word before, and I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right. Because it's one of those words that I've seen. Cordon? Cordon. Cordon? Peek gestures in your direction. See, they don't even know what you're talking about. This station isn't Hawthorne. Not everyone has to follow some corporate protocol. Esh sighs. I'm not saying they are part of the administration, she jerks her head in your direction, but I am saying we need to get these supplies to the Briar before someone starts asking questions. Can I? That's too presumptuous. Who are the supplies for? Esh points at you. See, Peek? Questions. Peek ignores her. We are with the refugees, the ones Havenage have cordoned off from entering the station. Esh interrupts. The ones that are being quarantined in makeshift vessels that barely made it to the Eye to begin with. The ones your station administrators have called an existential risk and are running out of supplies while their right to safety is being debated by people with no stake in their future. She quickly looks away, annoyed at her own outburst. Peek sighs. She's right. People are trapped out there, and... They turn to Esh. We understand that this is a big problem for the Eye. Hundreds of refugees and more ships turning up at each cycle. They hold up a hand to stop Esh interrupting. But... Esh turns away, her burning anger a palpable force in the close quarters of the corridor. They need supplies, and after everything they've been through, the quarantine isn't helping. Peek finishes. That's terrible. Esh looks back at you, her fierceness fading. Peek, please. Esh gathers herself and the supplies. Esh, we need help. Just like the refugees needed us, we need others too. They smile at her. Peek turns to you. Come find us. The climbing briar is docked at the Broken Spoke, past the greenway in the wastes. We have a good view of the cordon, though we are keeping our distance for now. Come, help us. They squeeze your hand. Esh turns to leave, and Peeks follows, waving goodbye. A moment later, Esh shouts back down the corridor. Don't bother coming empty-handed. You want to help? Show us. Bring supplies or don't come at all. And with that, they disappear around the corner, Esh already picking up the speed as Peek calls for her to slow down. A refugee flotilla? Where are they coming from, and why now? Each time you think you begin to understand this place, something changes. And yes, she is buff. This is the new DLC that I have not explored yet, so we're exploring it together. The wastes. Climbing Briar. And the end. What supplies you need? You need gear roll caps. This is intended for late game play. So we'll come back to that later. We'll worry about that one later. No, that was not my best Teen Girl Squad voice. I apologize. Work the canteen. Work the grow beds. If I want to join the Haifa commune. Let's work the grow beds. Let's see what happens when we work the grow beds. Neutral outcome. They like it. They like that I'm there. We're going to work on ship some more so that we can get some money, hopefully. Yeah. Do I need to stabilize? I'll still have 4 dice, so we're good. Let's do one more cycle for this stream. That'll put us at right around the hour mark for this video game. Anything pop up that needs my attention? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Can I get some scrap? You know what? I wanted scrap components, but I'll take a ship mine fragment. That does mean I cannot finish the derelict unit at the moment. I will need one more scrap component. That's totally okay. If I could find an engineer action. Yeah, it's not going to be engineer. Don't think this is going to be engineer. No. Probably not at the tea house. Can I work at the fabricator? No, that's just to build a ship mine. Do you need engineers? You need intuition. Nobody needs engineering. That's rude. They need engineering. Okay. Neutral outcome. Let's... Positive. Oh, we love a positive there. Let's see if we have anything that needs a 1. I hope someone needs dinosaur wrangling. That's my constant hope. I wake up every morning and hope someone needs some dinosaur wrangling done. I would do such a better job than Chris Pratt, though. I will say that. This is not engineering. upgraded my Endure, which would take a hot minute. I could do that. Instead, we will... What do I want to do? I am going to need money. The thing is, I am going to need money pretty soon. Because Ethan is working up quite a tab. So we're going to come here. We're going to sort of waste the 6. Get that money. And yeah, we're gonna wrap up the cycle if I can remember where home is. Yeah. I certainly think the dinosaurs would be happier. Those are some good dice. $58 cryo. So before I do save and quit, oh, my condition went down, but I still got paid. Before I forget, because otherwise I will forget, I am going to pay off Ethan's tab, and I am going to hydrate. As you hand over the chits, you hear Ethan laughing hysterically somewhere down the bar. I can't believe you just did that. Ethan's mocking laugh comes from across the bar. You look over to see him leaning across in a pool of light, empty glasses and spilled drinks glinting around him. It's always dark in the compressor, but this cycle the place is packed, a load of spacers mixing with the locals. Usually they run, Ethan spins a glass on the bar, or they go spend their savings on some local heavy I have to put down. They don't pay. Bye. Ethan gets to his feet. The glass falls and smashes, but he doesn't seem to notice. You think that's it? One round of drinks and we are even? Sleeper. Come on. His hand comes to rest on the butt of his handgun, dangling from a chest holster. Stop. Ethan laughs hard, and the people around him turn to see what's happening. I told you already about begging. I'm a freelancer, Sleeper, just like you. We both signed a contract with SNARP, didn't we? The difference is that my word means something. He closes the gap, stumbling a little. What did you think? You could just run away from your contract, your debt? You could just steal that natty little body of yours and take it for a joyride? Play human for a cycle or two? Both of these are true. I think this one's more true. You don't understand. It's you, Sleeper, that doesn't understand. Some of us pay our debts, but it's all the harder because of idiots like you. Though I should thank you, Ethan nods, his head heavy, for giving me such an easy job. I'm used to outlaws, you know? Real bounties. If I knew catching sad little escapees like you was so easy, I would have changed clients ages ago. Someone shouts from the back of the bar for Ethan to shut up. He holds a finger in that general direction without turning around. Shoot me or let me leave. Oh, I see. Toughening up here. He gestures wildly at the crowd. Thumbs up or thumbs down, folks. Most turn back to their drinks, no longer interested in this tired show. Ethan mutters insults as he walks back towards the bar. Ethan sits heavily back down on his stool and searches through his glasses for one with something left in it. The thing is, Sleeper, I can find you anywhere. It's actually wild that you haven't figured it out. That body isn't yours, and it will always betray you, no matter what. He finds a glass and downs the contents. So please, go. I'll catch up with you whenever I need another. He laughs and taps the bar for a fresh drink. You turn on your heel and are out. out of the cloying dark and the sweat stench of the compressor. You walk hard and fast down the walkway, anger driving your footfalls into the metal of the rim like hammers. Hey, we got an upgrade. Is that a good place to stop? I think that's a good place to stop. Whew. Well, not how I expected the stream to go. But yeah, it was a happy little accident, as Bob Ross would say. Oof. Just got hit by the wave of the sleepies, the citizen sleepies. What about raiding? What do we think about that? Should be back on Thursday. Star Ocean, as far as I know, shouldn't have any game-breaking logic mistakes. Fingers crossed. So that's what we'll be doing on Thursday. And yeah, we might just do Citizen Sleeper on Tuesdays. I think we will do that instead of Ocarina of Time Randomizer. At least for the foreseeable future. Cat Girl Next Door is streaming. Yeah, let's go raid Cat Girl Next Door. Let me mute my desktop audio so we don't catch that. When I pop over there and am anticipating what will happen next. Let's do that. Pop that open. And yeah, it looks like some Cult of the Lamb. That'd be fun. I love this game. This is... because there have been some good games this year. Comfortably top 5, probably top 3. Elden Ring is fantastic. Tunic is amazing, but doesn't stream as well as playing it for yourself. This game streams very well, and I love it very much. Oh, Kirby. I need to play Kirby. I need to buy that game and play it. I need to make time to play a Kirby. I've heard also very good things about Kirby. I just need to actually do it. There have been so many good games this year. My goodness gracious. Okay, we're going to raid Cat Girl Next Door. Press the button to start the raid. And yeah, thanks again for watching. Thanks for being great. And we'll be back on Thursday. Yeehaw. Yeah, that was, I caught some of those and they were really good. And raid. Did I do it? I think we're doing it. I hope we're doing it. Pashoo! Pressing the button.